Welcome to VNN. Over the past few weeks, there has been some discussion about the caste system in India, which was officially abolished several decades ago, and which some people from the subcontinent in Canada today allege that it is being practiced in Canada, US, and other countries with large Indian diasporas. Recently, the Toronto District School Board passed a resolution following a step taken by the Seattle City Council in the United States. We have with us Vijay Devineni, whose two children have been in the TDSB school system for 14 years. He's part of the TDSB Heritage Month, which is being celebrated widely to much acclaim. And he will give us an idea about what this sudden move about a non-issue is all about and why is it gaining traction. Welcome to VNN, Vijay.
Thank you. Thank you, Bala. Thanks for having me on the show today. And to give you a background of this happening in TDSB, there was, though as a Hindu Heritage Month we celebrate,
right,
and there is a Sri Lankan month which is being celebrated, right? Tamil Heritage Month.
Tamil Heritage Month, yes.
Or Muslim Heritage Month, or Islamic Heritage Month, and a Sikh Heritage Month. So basically, why I'm referring to all these months is like all these communities are being part of the school system,
yeah,
and the entire Canadian system, and they were being given the recognition of what they are doing, and all that.
Right.
And coming to the caste oppression, none of these, to my knowledge, none of these committees were being approached, either from a parent perspective or from a TDSP, like just only the community members to meet them, to understand more about what is this caste system and whether it is relevant to Canadian system or not. That question was not being asked from the community. However, suddenly, from a policy standpoint, they came up and they said that we wanted to include the caste oppression into our discrimination policy. And also, to quote one of the trustees, she did mention that there is no evidence that was being collected so far.
There's no data
from the TDSP.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, from TDSP. They themselves claim that, yes, there is no evidence or no case that somebody has come, student or any staff coming and saying that we are being called as oppressed caste or whatever, right? That has never been done. But suddenly the policy committee, they have come up with this particular intention of an individual driven, and they wanted to have a name and fame to what they're doing, and that's how they did it.
These are two Sri Lankan women, isn't it?
Yes, these are two Sri Lankan women.
I mean, how does what is happening in the Indian subcontinent affect them? I mean, I don't know. I can't get the connection. Why did they suddenly come up with this?
So yes, that's an interesting question. Being a Sri Lankan background, to me, whatever I understand, the LTTE organization, Mr. Prabhakaran, late Prabhakaran, right? I believe he said, like, we don't have a caste system in the Sri Lankan community, and everybody has to be treated as equal and one. And these people are talking, these two trustees are talking that the caste system is prevalent, and especially they're targeting like a South Asian population, which includes like India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and all that countries. So, I mean, it's a real surprising too as well. And they also claim that, or one of the trustees claimed that it is an equivalency of anti-Blackism, caste oppression. And the way that she portrayed that information across the board has flown with colors, because the other people on the board, they may not understand what caste is, right? And to your point, yes, it has been abolished long time back, However, people, they wanted to make some noise and make some sort of fame on it. That's how I felt like they have come into the picture.
I mean, so ultimately, I think what they're saying is it's a matter of skin color. Is that what it means? Is
I
that
mean, yes, if you look at the videos that are being hosted, the recorded videos that are being hosted on the TDSB site, one of the trustees have pinned on saying that it is anti-Blackism kind of thing, and specifically South Asians. I don't know where she is coming from. If I'm not mistaken, I remember she is quoting that she is born here or maybe raised from very engaged in the Canadian society. In that scenario, I don't think so she would have undergone anything like a caste oppression. And to give you an example, as you mentioned, I have two kids going to school, one in grade 10 and the other one in grade 7. And till date, in their 14-year school journey, they did not hear anything about caste. And we don't have an opportunity even to, if they ask that question, we don't have an answer to that.
I
Because
haven't seen
we
any
ourselves,
nothing like that in Canada so far. Last 20
yeah, we ourselves forget about it. Because after coming out from India, I mean, even in India, if you see,
It's
like,
not.
yeah, they're not talking about caste anymore. And being in
India, they are now privileged classes because they have so many reservations and they have risen up in economically, politically. The so-called the scheduled tribes and scheduled classes they are all quite well to do now.
yes, absolutely.
They occupy positions of power, prestige.
Yes, in fact, our prime minister, sorry, president of India.
Yeah, and the prime minister himself is from other backward classes.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know where this caste is coming from to these people's head, but it's a very unfortunate situation. It is not that having it, but it is more about dividing the Asians or South Asians, the diaspora. Already there is a lot of hatred being penetrated into the people's mind. Could be in different forms, racism, or could be for nationalism, could be something else, right? On top of that, now we are additionally putting this particular word like caste oppression into their mind. So if tomorrow what they are talking about is there could be a possibility like if two Indian kids are talking to each other,
Yeah.
and God forbidden, like one of them happened to be upper caste as per the Indian, caste system, and the other one happened to be a lower caste.
How do they recognize it? How do you recognize who is from the upper caste or who is from the lower caste? By what? The surnames?
Okay, it is a very interesting question.
What
It is
if
a
you
very
don't
interesting
have any
question.
surnames, isn't it? Then
Yes, it is an interesting question, right? So the trustee did mention about the surnames. So surnames in some places may relate to what is called a caste, but not 100%. And with the same surname, there are people from upper caste to the all the way to scheduled tribes, right? And in some communities, like for example in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, or Kerala, people have their father's name as last name. And in that place, how do you recognize? That's a big question mark. And without doing any homework, without collecting any facts, or without understanding what's what, and they just said that okay, based on the last names, based on the surnames or last names, and as I told earlier, based on the color. So anti-Blackism. So that's how they put it, right? So what they felt is that okay, the darker skin is oppressed caste.
because I mean, say people in the Caribbean, coming from the Caribbean, many of them names like Maharaj, Pandit,
Yep.
Singh. So
Yes.
how do you recognize what caste? Where does caste come in there?
There is no. That's what I'm saying. There is no way to understand that. But the way they put it is like by based on the last name. That's how they are going to identify them as upper caste or lower caste.
So it must be like say from northern India, maybe a person with the surname of say Thakur. or Varma. They'll say they are from the upper caste. That's what they're going to say. So what do they want? They want reverse oppression, or what do they want? What do they intend to do with this motion that was passed?
What I feel is morely about they wanted to satisfy their own ego kind of thing. That's how I felt it, because there is no evidence, one, and there is no scientific reasoning that they have provided to the board when they are coming up with this particular motion. And thirdly is they're talking about absolute nonsense in terms of two things. One is connected to South Asians. Caste is only connected to South Asians. Number two is caste is based on the surnames, which to our discussion, there is no way to identify the caste based on the surnames, or the Varma may not be a surname for some of them, but still Varma, I mean the last word of the name. And thirdly is about anti-blackism. So based on the skin tone, how can somebody say, like, you are from a lower caste or upper caste? Yeah. So there is no scientific evidence. It is just that they wanted to have this, and they wanted to get a good name. And
now, this resolution has been passed and passed by the TDSB, and now it's apparently elevated to the Ontario Human Rights Commission. And what are they going to do? They're going to have a discussion of how the system operates, or what are they going to do now?
So it is right now, I mean, from the TDSB standpoint, yes, it has been passed, and there is no definite time frame when they are going to, start this, or have the opportunity to kind of take the cases based on the caste oppression. That is one thing. But they say that they wanted to include that into the curriculum so that students will start learning about it. And so I'm afraid because the main factor is, until today my kids are not known about caste, but tomorrow, because if students are being given that as a curriculum and they learn about caste system, and definitely with these people mindset, they're going to say only South Asians, and my kids are being targeted for it, for being doing nothing, just becoming a kid of a South Asian parent. They have to take a lot of mental trauma. And
this whole thing
yeah,
is aimed at the prosperity of Indians across the world. Indian diaspora. I mean, Indians are found everywhere in good positions. So I think is it aimed at them, or is it aimed at the rise of India in general? Or I don't know. That's what it looks like.
that could be a possibility. I cannot rule out that possibility of saying that, because Indians, if you take major tech companies,
Yeah.
either in US, Canada, or elsewhere in the world, they are being headed by the Indian people.
Yeah.
And not only that, the other businesses, they are being headed by Indian community, or South Asian community.
I want to create a division between, I think, among South Asians and among the Indian community. I think that's what the agenda looks like. Isn't it?
That, as I told you, I cannot rule out that possibility. Yes, that could be, but they played it in a such a way that nobody understand why this is coming up and why it is being, why the motion is being passed.
Somebody is provoked it. I mean, who is behind this? That's the idea. Who is behind this?
I mean, one of the trustee, and she goes like somebody from Carleton University.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, and God only knows what they're doing from there, but yeah, somebody from there, doing something, and again, no evidences though, no evidences so far in Canadian society.
There is somebody in the faculty in the Carleton University who keeps writing about this thing. I don't know. Maybe that's behind it. Who knows?
Yeah, because otherwise the trustee also mentioned that.
Hmm.
The trustee did mention about, I mean, not the person name, but the Carleton University name. Yes, the trustee mentioned about it.
No, but so if the Ontario Human Rights Commission, or what, they'll have to study this and then pass a resolution, and I think it'll take a long time. It might not succeed at all. That they won't have any raw data to work with.
We never know, but only my afraid is that, okay, if this happened in TDSB, slowly the other school district boards may also include this. And already within TDSB, we started having, or we will start having, the divisions within the Indian community or South Asian community. And it will be spreaded across the other school district boards. My question is always, why do we want to divide ourselves? I mean, we are from the same human race, maybe from a different region. That's all I would say. But in other aspects, we are same. We are working, everybody is working for their life, for a goodness of their family. But why do we want to divide ourselves?
So what now? What's next? What's going to happen?
The next thing that is going to happen is like there are so many communities within the, I mean, from the South Asia who are opposing this particular motion that is being raised by the TDSB. And of course, because they were not included in the policy governance committee meeting where the motion has been initially passed, and after that it went to board, right? So in the policy level, when they were making the decision, nobody was included. So I believe a lot of the community groups are working towards getting an understanding and also work with the Ontario Human Rights Commission and see how it can be nailed down, meaning that the caste oppression would be taken out from the system, basically.
Did you attend any of these meetings at the TDSB?
Yes, I mean, the motion, as I told you, the policy motion, we never know about it.
Yeah.
The agenda was not being publicized. Okay, within the community also, as I mentioned earlier, within this Hindu Heritage Month, Sikh Heritage Month, or Tamil Heritage Month, nobody never knew about this happening. Okay, all of a sudden it happened, and that's when people understood that, okay, the motion has been passed at the policy level. And there is one of the trustee who's from Asian background, okay, and he questioned that, is it been any evidence been collected? And the other trustee who has put in the motion said, no evidence, no evidence so far. Then why are you wasting the people's money, time in discussing which is not relevant? There are so many things that as a trustees we can do good for this community, right? In today's TDSP history, if you are looking, I mean, because my kids are going to TDSP, I have seen lot of gun calls, or students having gun, or students vaping, or drugging and all that. So those are the immediate things that have to be addressed, rather than what we so call dividing people or dividing communities, which is again, or propagating the hatredness within the community.
That's true. And I think thank you, Vijay, for giving us an idea of what this is all about. And I think we'll have to just wait and see what happens next with the Ontario Human Rights Commission. I mean, they might invite general input from the community when these things come for discussion.
Yeah, we hope so. Yeah. That's the reason. The community has to come together, right, and work with their community people, either from the temple, mosque, church, wherever they are going to, different faiths and all that. They have to come together. They have to come and say, yes, we don't see that one, right? We don't want to be divided. We are already divided. We don't want to be divided further.
Like tomorrow, I think they'll pass a resolution saying there's a language wars going on in among the South Asian community. The Andhrites, Teluguites, and Keralites, and Tamil and Hindi speakers. They'll divide that also next.
Yeah, It might be in future.
Yeah, Hindi operation.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks a lot, Vijay, for appearing on our show and telling us about this. And we will be following this story also.
Thank you, Bala.
Yeah? Thank you,
I
Vijay.
request all your viewers to be cognizant of what's happening within the school district boards. Make sure that they participate in the student parent meetings. Not only that, parent council meetings, which is more important. That's where you get to know what are the direction that the school team is going to take over. Right. And at the same time, the policy council meetings at the school district boards, please have an eye on them and make sure that you participate, you raise your voice and have a concern, put up upfront before it is being legalized or, being
formal
by law.
Structure is made. Yeah. Okay.
Structured. Yeah.
Thank you, Vijay. Thanks.
Thank you, Bala. Talk to you.